Hey folks, good morning. Welcome to Advisory. Happy Friday. Today we are going to wrap up our viewing of The Barber of Little Rock, the last half of it. And I hope you enjoyed and learned a lot from the first half. Yesterday we were introduced to the work that Arlo does through the People's Trust. We saw a lot of independent business owners come to him talking about their business plan and him offering the startup money that they need. But it wasn't just businesses. The People's Trust also helps out individual members of the community, especially those that kind of find themselves in a rough position, like this family who had their house burned down, or this person who can't find a job because she doesn't have a place to shower, and this person who is falling behind on her rent because of cancer treatments. And it showed us how powerful even a small amount of money can be to someone who is just trying to get to that next step up to where they can support themselves. Today we're going to watch the rest of the documentary, and I want you to pay attention to a couple of things. The first thing you're going to notice today is that just like Dallas, Little Rock has a highway that divides what they call the haves and the have-nots. On one side of the highway is very clearly wealthy and lots of businesses and lots of banks, and on the other side, very little of any of that. You're also going to notice a very familiar looking map of Little Rock that describes the redlining that happened around the same time that redlining was happening in Dallas. As you watch today, I also want you to think about what are the connections between Arlo's work as a barber and his starting of the Barber College and his work as a fund manager in giving people loans to help them get back on their feet. I want you to think about how these two are connected. How did his work as a barber lead him to the work that he's doing today? So we're going to finish the rest of the documentary, and there will be a short discussion at the end on the next slide. So I hope you enjoy the rest of the documentary, and I hope you are inspired by the work that Arlo is doing and the possibilities that exist when people focus in on building up a community rather than just making a ton of money. Be good to yourself and others. Have a great weekend, and enjoy the rest of The Barber of Little Rock.
Here in Little Rock, there is a physical divide. Have on one side, have not on the other. It's not a wealth gap, it's a wealth chasm. I-630, the Great Divide.
How's it going, man? You ready to ride? You know, when we cross I-630, you can tell a big difference. This neighborhood is the heart of the Black community. There are no banks over here, and you got about 30,000 community members over here.
Mm-hmm. You'd be hard-pressed to find an ATM.
That community has been economically segregated. Look at this, we got 5 boarded up houses on this little half a block. So we crossed I-630, and now we're going into the Heights. And in the Heights, maybe 8,000 in population, but you got 14 banks. And you don't see a boarded up house, not one.
Or you have commerce here, you have places where business can exist. You don't see that on the other side of town. Then of course you have redlining, where banks would not make money accessible to people who lived in certain areas. And oftentimes those certain areas were areas where Black folks lived. This phenomenon of building interstates through Black communities, and they bring about destruction.
I'm gonna take you and show you our new location where we're opening up.
Right.
That's Redline. This is the first financial institution ever in this community. And so...
And it looks good, too.
Thank you. We've been working hard.
Do you believe in the American dream? What is the American dream?
You tell me and we'll both know.
I was told this growing up. You work hard, you do what you're supposed to do, and you'll achieve your goal, right? And in essence, that's supposed to be true. But I have to say that I've sat at the table in front of my children and said, as much as this is supposed to be true, it is still possible that that may not happen for you.
Nice house, cars, family taken care of, bill free. Well, no, I'm just out here surviving, just trying to make a way. So I couldn't just elaborate what the American dream is. I wouldn't know.
There was a time in my life early on when I wanted to fix what my mother was going through, trying to take care of me. She had me when she was 16 years old, had to drop out of school, get a GED. So when I was born, I was brought home to this house. And my grandmother was a single parent with 16 kids in the house. And now my mother, at 16, was bringing home another addition to the family. You know, watching my mother early in my life and watching the sacrifices that she made for, you know, folks in the neighborhood, she wanted to be an inspiration to the folks that lived in the housing projects, to let them know that they didn't have to stay there. This is where my mother was eulogized. She had cervical cancer. 2 weeks before I graduated high school, my mother passed away. She didn't see me walk. That was tough. I felt lost. That left me lost, feeling lost. Okay, what do I do now? You know, I have 2 younger sisters. Where do I go from here?
Hello.
Hello.
How are you? I'm good. How are you?
I have an 8-month-old. Like, you can't be without no lights.
I think the first thing is to get you off the streets. We're gonna do your emergency grant. Let's do a $1,500 grant. This is a new beginning. You know what I'm saying? I kind of adopted some of the mission that she had that she didn't get a chance to live out.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you.
It fell on me to carry the torch. My mother provided such a great example of being of humanity and having compassion and understanding that life circumstances happen. And when they happen, that people need compassion, people need restoration, people need rehabilitation, people need love. I want you and I want you to stand up for a second. I'm gonna show you something right now that we don't hardly ever do, but I want you to, for 2 minutes, I want you to look at him in his eyes. And I want you to be with him. And I want you to be with him for 2 minutes. All right, come close, right here. Now, don't look off. When you look in those eyes, think about your kids. Think about your loved ones. Think about the setbacks and the wins, all the hard lessons, and just see all the hurt, see all the pain. Be with him right now. Time. It's all right, it's all right. It's all right. It's all right. It's all right.
I seen my big brother, man. I ain't seen him since I was 12 years old.
I say a lot, tell a whole story, you know, and that was uncomfortable for them. I know it was, because I've done it before. But that's an exercise that will help you if you're somebody that's introverted and you're somebody that's kind of in a shell, and help you be more assertive and help you to be more, you know, and understanding to what other people are going through. You went to prison. And when you went to prison, what did that mean?
10 years of my life. I mean,
And where'd that leave you?
lost. So, you know, when you're secluded from the world for that amount of time, man, you become behind. Okay, you 28, 27 now. What you gonna do? As a black man, you know, we not offered opportunities, especially after times that, you know, we made a messed up or made a mistake in our life. So it's like now, okay, I gotta do something. I always could cut hair, you know, but I just never thought, man, maybe I should go to school. I went in and enrolled at Washington Barber College. I learned so much, just things that, you know, things that you need to know to sharpen yourself up to be successful.
I did 7 years in prison, 7 years, 5 months, 6 days to be exact, on a 30-year sentence. And I sit before you right now 16 years later, and I'm still not free. I was homeless 3 times from when I got out of prison. I was homeless 3 times. I went on to the shelters, did what I needed to do, saved my money up, got out. But my crime does not make me an eternal criminal.
Right. 3 of our barbers that were formerly incarcerated, and they were just each sharing the trauma that they experienced while being there, and how, you know, to be out, it's a huge adjustment.
So on day 1, if you have nothing, you ain't got a toothbrush, no toothpaste, all of those essential things, you right back at stress 1. Right after they get out, they call me within 72 hours. I'm able to send their name, their release dates, and how much time they did. And then I just email everything over, and People's Trust contacts them, and they go pick up a $325 grant, which I think is so great, because coming out of any system, especially the jail system, you don't come out with any money. You, Arlo, have made it possible. You are looking at everything from the perspective of inclusion.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely.
See, where for so many years, I and so many have saw only exclusion.
It's truly community development, and that's developing. You can't develop a community if you don't develop the people.
Exactly.
The reason I do what I do, and what gives me energy to keep going, is equity, 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 equity. So that means if the way it is over, you know, on this side of town, is on this side of the freeway, it's this way over here as well. The resources that's over here, the resources over there. The banks that's over here, banks over here. Money over here, money over there. Credit over here, credit over there.
How you doing?
All right. You don't do any body work, do you?
A little bit.
A little bit?
Not a whole bunch.
How long you been wanting to do this?
Been in the automotive business for 20, 25 years. Running the Jiffy Lube for the last 5. But the owner came and told me he was selling the business. So
when they let you go, you know, you had to think quick on your feet. What am I going to do now?
yeah, but I needed to open up new avenues, and the biggest one in being able to get this loan to get started.
Y'all give it up for Lincola Franklin.
While you were in the program, you accessed 3,500 small business loan. So maybe if we could extend that.
So if we extend the $3,500 that we already gave you to up to $10,000, and we do it for 2 years, your payments be like $452 a month.
How soon would you need before you start making payments?
I would say a couple months just to get me going.
So maybe we deferred your payments for 90 days. That'll help you to.
Definitely. I appreciate that.
All right, cool.
My clientele is building. Mr. Washington, he seen what my future may look like, and I'm, you know, forever grateful for him believing in me.
As of today, you doing business as Incredible Auto, borrowing $50,000. So you got a lease going already? Can
Yes,
you talk
ma'am.
to him?
This is the outside.
But how many square foot is that?
5,000.
It's nice.
It's like my dream of finally becoming a business owner and not having to work for anybody else again. I work for myself now. Thank y'all. I really want to shed some tears. And I don't have to worry about somebody selling a business and somebody coming in and telling me, hey, we don't want to continue with you anymore. Here I am, 3 months later. When you're investing in something that you love to do, it makes everything a lot easier.
We felt like that if we could redevelop and change this corner, that it would help turn the neighborhood. Once they can put funds here and deposits, then we're not going to allow the money to go outside of this community. We're going to put the money back into the community.
And it's going to scare some people. It's going to scare the hell out of them. Because now you can see that it can be done. So you have no more excuses. Those institutions that are in place right now are not going to idly sit back.
You don't think? They don't care about this.
Yes, they do. Because if this catches on, it becomes a threat.
You really believe that?
Mark my word. Because it can inspire others to think that they can be free. This is about being free.
Economic justice is righting wrongs, fixing the system, some type of repayment for injustice. A tree is known by the fruit that it bears. So if I don't see any fruit, then I don't see any impact. So if you have money and you have wealth and you can't create impact, what's the point?
What is justice? What does it mean for me? What does it mean for people of color? Justice is just not quite yet available for everybody.
Justice. It's just being a black man in this world. Man, good luck.
Justice is something that we need, but that's what we're fighting for. Right now, today, I can look at justice as empowerment.
Just doing what's right and being fair.
You ever heard that phrase, get your money right? I gotta help the community get their money right. The community has to get their money right, and this is an opportunity to get the money right. So I'm on a mission, and it ain't over. It's just begun.